customs house is on the site of a former building called the Penarth Head Inn. Now, the Penarth Head Inn was the home to the notorious pirate and smuggler Edward Edwards. Unique name, isn't it? Well, anyway, he was accused of defrauding the king of his customs. In other words, he used to hide brandy and tobacco, etc. in the cellar of his building, along with the other people who worked in the place there within the Penarth Head Inn. And I'll show you a picture of this place. But the king, in his wisdom, decided that he would pull down the Penarth Head Inn, and instead they built a building which is ironic because it's the Customs Inn. And from here they took the customs to the big docks that was being built here as an overflow to Cardiff, which was extremely busy and becoming cramped. So let's look into the life of this Penarthian pirate, Edward Edwards. So really at this house is where our story begins, because this is West House Farm, which is today the Penarth Town Council House. Now this was perhaps the biggest farm in Penarth, and at one point had over 400 acres. This building here can be traced back to at least the 17th century, though it doesn't look it. The original farmhouse was built over and is still there. But later it was in the hands of Edward Edwards, the alleged smuggler from Penarth. Now it was on the land of this farm that he had the inn built, the Penarth Head Inn, and that's really the story where it carries on from his smuggling days. One description, possibly from the late 1730s, describing the inn said this: "The inn was situated at the head of a shingle beach, sheltered from the prevailing winds and within easy reach of Cardiff, the centre of villainy." Edwards was a victualler, an oldie offender with a design of defrauding the king of his customs. In 1738 there is a small account of a seizure of brandy made aboard a coasting vessel. And this is what is said: "The king's boat at Penarth is moored on his ground, but never any acknowledgment paid, and he has told the surveyor that he will cut the moorings and let her go adrift, and likewise threatens the officers or anybody else that will offer to come near the house in the night time. And the officers have no other way to go to the harbour without passing close by his house." What we see from this account, it gives you an idea of the kind of character that he was, unafraid to assume his position and unafraid to even tackle the customs people who wanted the revenue. 1864 saw the demise of the Penarth Head Inn, and sadly by 1865 it was pulled down. Now in this photo you'll see where the builders are working. If you look carefully, the groundwork had been laid for this building. Now the custom house was built in the Renaissance style with its grand entrance, and sadly the building, the Penarth Head Inn, which had stood since 1730, was pulled down. And although this was beautiful, it's a shame to see that building, especially when you look at the history that was involved behind it. What we see here is a modern day Cardiff Bay that has been built up to regenerate the area. Cardiff Bay in the distance, and here was the entrance to the old Penarth docks. Again, so all the custom was going through there, and a lot of money was being generated, and there's a great photo to show how busy this really was in its day. But there's the entrance. A letter written to the customs dated January 2nd, 1738 tells how they seized a vessel in Penarth. In the letter they wrote, "The officers, seeing light on board the vessel before day, some time before high water, made them suspect that they were taking in some goods or other, for there was no other vessel in the harbour at that time. And when they went on board they found the 2 casks of brandy open and unconcealed in a hold. And when they asked the master whose it was and how they came by it, he answered, the man of the house might inform them," meaning Edwards. "This man has lately built a house by the harbour where there was never one before, and he has been an old offender, and we presume his living in such a place, as he is a man of some substance, and is in design of defrauding the king of his customs." Then again in February the 9th of that same year they wrote, "Williams James, an extraordinary boatman of Penarth, was obliged by the justices of the peace to serve the office of a constable. He found upon his search in one house about 1 gallon of brandy in bottles, and in the barn belonging to this house a cask of brandy. 'Tis undoubtedly part of Edward's brandy, and the person in whose custom it was found offered to take their oaths they found it on the beach near Penarth Head the night that 18 gallons were seized, and we are in hopes of having the whole villainy discovered very soon, for the person concerned with Edwards has quarrelled among themselves, which I hope will be a means to discover the whole fact, and we humbly beg your direction herein."